Ready.
Someone asked the question.
Oh, morning. Look, good morning.
Uh,
That I always say good morning twice. You get one today. What's happening, fam? Welcome to the show. It is Michelle Bryant here. You know, say something real and you know, it's Hatteras. I was like, "You got an island here in North Carolina." Let me say good morning, bros. What's happening, family? Man, I ain't seen y'all like forever. Did you lose weight, Wyatt?
yeah, you
Jason got
understand me?
slim.
Yeah, yeah.
Not
Not.
Debo. I'm talking about you.
No, Debo ain't gonna
Not.
Debo ain't gonna never lose. Wait, he might lose, but it ain't gonna be weight.
Wow. Immediately. I mean, just no.
Dude,
Just
I wouldn't
right.
even came at you like
Jugular,
that.
you know,
Debo.
just-
Hey man,
You ought to order for that, Jermaine.
hey man, listen, I always got one in the chamber.
You ought to order for that, Jermaine.
I'm just saying.
But yeah, dude, you look a little,
Yeah, you
you look
understand me?
light skinned. What's
Yeah.
going on, man?
Well, you know,
Did you? Oh, you must have like.
You must be rest broken, Michelle.
Did you shave something?
You
Yo,
rest
Hey,
broken. That's what's
man,
wrong.
I am babyface Edmonds. I
I'm
can't
just
grow no
saying.
hair in my face.
So it look a little,
Yeah.
a little fresh.
Yeah, it's just it's the little you understand me going on.
No, we changed the bulbs.
That's what it is.
We changed the bulbs over the weekend.
Oh, that's what it is.
fresh bulbs.
Well, can
Fresh-
I get some?
Fresh bulb.
If we got slimming
That's-
light bulbs.
that's-
I'm gonna
that's a
need
good one.
some.
That's a good one.
If we got slimming light bulbs, I'm gonna need some.
You
You
said
said
you
fresh
changed the light bulb.
bulbs.
You got jokes.
So
Keep it up.
the trip was fabulous. I'm
Oh
assuming.
man, listen, the trip was
Welcome to
yeah,
Miami.
man. I almost didn't come back.
What?
Yeah.
You had a good time like that?
Oh man, we was on a yacht.
You
hanging
did
out.
say
yeah,
that.
Yeah, we was on the yacht getting it in, and I started.
So wait, now how big a yacht are we talking about? We talking about like
No, it was a big joint. It was
four-seater,
like,
we
no, it
talking-
was like a 2-decker.
what?
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness!
It was
And
2-decker.
was this like a day trip? Y'all was just out there?
No, actually, what had happened was my cousin is the producer for Justin Bieber and all these other cats.
Okay.
So we got a chance to kind of hang out on the yacht with Justin and his team. Just to hang out and talk and kick it from.
So you was balling like that.
Yeah.
Did the yacht leave the dock?
You stupid.
Did it ever leave the dock?
They was just
Well, you know what, Debo?
you stupid. Why is that a
No.
question, man?
I got the answer for it.
Don't leave the dock.
I got the answer. It's
Why?
the same way, but that the food in your belly, do it leave your belly or do it stay?
See, why you gotta get personal?
I'm just saying.
No.
I mean, I always got one in the
Fair,
chamber.
man.
I just
Oh,
asked,
no.
did
No,
it
I
ever
got one in
leave
the
the
chamber.
dock?
Hey, you say you got
Hey, I'm just saying, listen.
fight fair.
My mama told me if you ever get in the fight, though, you better hit him with a house. Hit him with whatever you can put your hands
You'll be
on.
fine. Yeah.
You put your hands on. If it's an airplane flying
But
by.
you gotta know the difference between a fight and a dust up, bruh. You treat everything like it's a fight.
everything
Everything
is
ain't a fight.
911 for me.
You can't go all 100
Listen.
on everything.
Well, we never asked the question, so I don't know.
Come on back, Debo.
So,
So
circle back around.
come on,
Debo.
come on,
Did it
keep this
ever
thing
leave?
going.
I just
Debo,
asked
answer
the
the
question.
question,
It's a
man.
yes or a
Yes,
no.
yes.
We were
Yes,
out,
we was on the water for about a good 2 hours,
Debo
brother.
said, answer the
out
question.
on the water, but you're still on the water if you're on the dock.
See,
Take
okay.
me to
Here we
the-
go, Sil.
Now she
Now-
gonna see the old
now-
baptism song.
Now
on you.
I'm about to open up this other can. I've been waiting for it.
I mean, no, Jermaine.
Now,
Did
Jermaine.
it ever leave the
This
dock?
was-
I told
it's
you
a big
if
question.
we sailed the water, we was on the ocean for about a good 2 hours.
Okay. Well, then that's all you had to say.
Now,
Although that still doesn't
now, there you go, Debo.
clearly clarify
Yeah.
if one left the dock or not.
Yeah,
Dude,
well,
I can't stand
I'm
you.
gonna say this to you.
Oh my
what's-
God, I
what-
can't stand you.
Never
You so
mind, man.
messy, man.
I
I'm gonna say
apologize.
this to
You
you.
because
messy, bro.
you think
You messy.
you take everything as a personal.
No, no.
And that wasn't where we were going with that.
See. You know, Debo, it's early Monday morning, right?
I'm always ready.
People texting me like Debo messy as
Monday mornings, you want to have one in the chamber. I'm gonna put about 3 or 4 of them in the chamber.
Look, I can't even come back without it being
this
drama.
one I got a switch on it. I'm gonna let it ride.
Can I please come back without it being drama? Oh my God.
Al Walter says, y'all at it already?
Yeah, we gonna put Debo on his belly and sell him back. Right.
I mean, you can't even get the good morning out good.
See? He got jokes.
I apologize if you felt personal attack.
No.
Yeah. Oh, no, you done did it.
No, brother, ask the question. Yeah, someone asked the question.
I in no way
Why does
meant
he
to offend one.
Inflatable man over here.
Now I'm inflatable.
Yeah.
All right, Bubbles, what happened? How was your weekend?
Put you on the water and ride your back. Yeah, Bubbles.
How was your weekend?
Long and intense, but
Bubbles.
Did a wedding reception. I want to say congratulations to Mr. and Mrs. Danny Jones as they jumped the broom.
Danny Jones.
Yeah, Danny Jones.
What Danny Jones look like?
Bald head.
Hey, so is he any kin?
Oh, tall. Okay, that's the wrong Danny. Okay.
So is he any kin to Johnny Goatmouth Jones?
Probably first cousins or something like that.
Okay.
Please ignore Jermaine. Keep on.
I don't know.
We said congratulations. Somebody jumped the broom.
Congratulations. So we did the wedding. Clark and I did their wedding reception this past weekend. Then the band performed down at I even forget the name of the venue down there on Holton and Keith, somewhere down in there. My band, Love, Peace, and Soul. Nice. So yeah, just a busy weekend.
Okay. Okay.
Just as everyone else, we here at the station spent a lot of time purging and getting rid of things that we needed to due to the taking on of the water. So just busy, long. Happy you didn't have to come back to a whole lot of that.
Don't. I mean, it wasn't super bad, but when we opened the door,
oh boy,
because we was talking about it all the way back. Because we drove to Martha's Vineyard this year, and so when we was coming back, the closer we got to Wisconsin, then we started, because we weren't talking about it. Me and Keisha weren't talking about it. We was just like looking out the window at the scenery. But once we started to hit, Wisconsin, we was like, damn. Hope this
is gonna get real around. That's gonna get real around.
And we opened the door. And you can smell that smell. You can smell that water, mildewy smell.
Yeah.
So, but the basement was not like crazy. We definitely had water down there. Probably was looked like probably 3 to 4 inches down in the basement. Enough water to move stuff around. And so, I started pulling boxes up, that kind of stuff. And let me tell y'all, that's where all the Christmas stuff is stored. Now, while most of the ornaments and all that stuff, all in plastic crates and stuff, the trees themselves, y'all, I must have like 15 trees in the basement. Right. The trees themselves all got wet. Like, I got to replace every Christmas tree. I'm like, I got one tree down there that costs like $500, and I'm just on sale. So when I tell you I'm sick,
so you can't hose it down or anything.
I ain't doing none of that. I ain't doing none of that. I'm throwing them out. I'm gonna just go get some more. It's an excuse to go shopping. But so it's a lot of stuff I gotta still go through. That was wet when we got down there, but again, most of the water had dried out, so now I just got to go through and bleach and all of that stuff. So I felt for people who had to do a lot. In 2008, that's when I lost everything. Every baby picture, all my pictures. I don't have a single picture of me as a child. All my son's stuff. So I mean, I felt for people who may have gone through something similar, and I thought about it, I was like, they talking about only free drop off for a week. I was like, well, what about the folks like me that was out of town? And then you get home and you just getting home and you missed the cutoff. So now I got to pay to drop my stuff off.
No, I actually heard on the news this morning that
they extend it
to next Sunday.
Oh, wonderful. See, I'm raising sand.
They didn't say extension. They just said that it lasts until next Sunday.
I thought it was until Sunday the 17th.
Well, double check it, because on the news this morning, I watched Channel 12. They said next Sunday.
They did. Somebody said they did extend it. I got it. Yeah. Because that's the first thing I thought. I was like, well, dang. Everybody wasn't at the house, when this struck. So Yeah, definitely felt bad. Like I said, ours was nothing in comparison to what a lot of people described and talked about while we were away. But let me just say, I had the most amazing time on my vacation. Um, it's never 100% vacation. Um, and I got to get a different definition of vacation. Um, because I'm going to workshops and panel discussions, and but that's one of the reasons I told people while I go. And so I just wanted to just give y'all the idea. I brought back like what the week looked like, while you in Martha's Vineyard. So you had the annual summer soiree, okay, over at FarmNet Golf Clubs. Then you had the Charles Ogletree Public Forum series, empowering health, wealth, and community, moderated by Blair Underwood. And then it goes on with all these amazing, crazy doctors from everywhere. And then they did the Hope in High Water, commemorating 20 years of service. 20 years since Hurricane Katrina. And they did the screening of the documentary that Tremaine Lee and LeJune Montgomery Taborn did. I've been waiting to see this. Oh my God, they did the screening in Martha's Vineyard. Then I said I went to church on Sunday. Jamal Bryant did the message. It was crazy, ridiculous. But Michelle Obama, Jennifer Hudson, Spike Lee. Oh my God, I'm just trying to think of all the people that were on the island. Either right before we got there, they were leaving that Sunday when we came on that Saturday, and yeah, Al Sharpton was there. He's part of a panel discussion. And then I said to people, I'm sitting in church, and here's Jasmine Crockett and Letitia James. And then I went to a state attorney general's panel, and you see 5 Black attorney generals from across the country. I think we have 8, and had an opportunity to talk to them. Then, oh my God, one of my favorites. I didn't know this one. But Jonathan Green, who is an incredible artist, painter. um, I ended up going to a panel discussion that he was the featured, speaker, and ended up taking pictures with him. Some of the very first real art that I ever bought in my life was Jonathan Green's artwork, because his work in colors are so vibrant, and his painting of Black people and Black landscapes, Southern life. And so one of the first pieces I ever bought and really truly stood in front of a painting and was like, oh my God, that's beautiful. It was a Jonathan Green, and he was on the island. So I won't do a whole lot about all the different things, but they had an HBCU college fair and youth expo. It was just so much. And then of course, when people go and do the Black polar bears, and I never do it. I absolutely not. I'm not getting up at 6 o'clock. I'm already, and usually if I'm there, I'm either trying to get ready for the show and do the show, so I never get to do the polar bear exercises and stuff that they do. Keisha always gets up and goes down, but it was amazing. But I'm gonna tell y'all, on the drive back, we go through New York, and I always look up because I see the exit for Yonkers, I see the exit for White Plains. And I was raised in Yonkers, and but family in White Plains, the Bronx, Brooklyn, the whole nine. And so I called my uncle. I'm like, Uncle Willie, I'm like 3 minutes from your house, man. He's like, come on through, come on through. I was like, nah, I can't stop, because we trying to make this show over at the Majestic Theater. So he was cool. He understood. But when I say that for my birthday, Dr. Myers got tickets to go see, and I didn't know she was going to get them. She told me about it the night before we were leaving. She said, hey, for your birthday, just wanted to tell you we going to see Gypsy. And I was like, Gypsy? Broadway play, Audra McDonald Gypsy? She was like, yeah, we got tickets. I was like, what? And so we go. And if anyone knows anything about Audra McDonald, and I'm talking about, this sister just did The Gilded Age, The Good Fight. Oh my God. In The Good Fight, she is crazy. She was in Beauty and the Beast. She was in Annie, in Raising in the Sun, Private Practice. Audra McDonald's talent is ridiculous. And when this woman had scenes in the play where she was supposed to be crying, you could see the teardrops falling to the floor of the theater. Just her performance in Gypsy and the whole cast was phenomenal. But I couldn't help but crack up because when I say Wisconsin is always in the building, because we saw a number of people from Wisconsin. Northwestern Mutual was having a thing out on the vineyard, and so we saw people from Northwestern Mutual there, and other folks, from the city. Uh, but we go to the theater, and I posted this. It was so funny to me. So intermission comes and the lights come up, and we just kind of turning around, looking around, talking, and then we hear, and polar bears. Thank you, Wanda. I couldn't think of the name of it when I was talking about it, but we hear my name, and we turn around, and like a couple rows behind us at the theater, Judge Carl Ashley and his wife Felita. We cracking up like, what y'all doing here? I mean, like, just the eyes that you gonna turn around and see your people in New York on an unscheduled, unplanned trip, just like bam, we were able to secure tickets. We here. And so it was so funny. I couldn't help but smile because I don't care where you go, you're gonna find people from Wisconsin. What did I say when I was in South Africa? Sitting on the side of a road at a safari, just chilling and waiting for us to be able to go in this area because we looking for these lions or whatever we was looking for. And there was another Jeep sitting across from us, and I said something to the two guys that was in the Jeep, like, hey, I'm gonna talk to everybody. So, hey, what's happening? How y'all doing? It's like, oh, we good, we good. And I hear, like, oh, y'all from America. Well, where y'all from? Madison, Wisconsin. I'm sorry, where? Yeah. And then the guy gets to talking, and I'm like, man, one of your lobbyists has been to our office. We in South Africa. No, we were in Kenya. We are in Kenya. And so I don't care where we go, you go see Wisconsin in the building. So I just wanted to say that I appreciate the team, everybody that helped make it possible for me to be gone, and for y'all for listening while I was away, sending me all the information, keeping me updated, contributing to the show. Everybody that was online, phenomenal. Y'all are by far, hands down, best audience ever. And I just wanted to tell you, I appreciated it so much. So with that being said, I got to take a commercial break. So when we get back, though, we got to get into it. Because when I say from paying attention to what's going on locally, Milwaukee Public School Board, I'm sorry, the listening sessions I gave him today that Dr. Casilius is hosting, to what we see happening in DC in terms of all of the folks coming to meet with Trump today, and him trying to tell Zelensky what to wear to the meeting. I just said, oh my God, I can't. We got a lot to get to, but I am so glad to be back physically in the studio, looking at the handsome bros of WNOP 860 AM.
Only
What
one.
up? It's only one.
There's only one.
Okay,
There's
so
only
looking
one.
at the handsome brother.
Listen, hey, you felt that.
No, I
Play with me.
more.
Play with me, bro.
But it's
No,
only
play
one.
with me,
No,
bro. Hey, he's
Like
so
yourself,
dirty.
like
He's so dirty. You already said it.
it's,
Yeah, you said it.
it's,
You open up now.
it's always the ugly conversation to verify how they look. Us fine ones ain't got to say that to women. Us fine ones ain't got to say that.
Last one. Oh my God. He said, I'm done talking. All right. I'll be right back. All right, family, welcome back to the show. Before I get into some of the topics I want to hit this morning, let me also do this. Because a couple people reached out to me about wanting to be able to find either black contractors, black plumbers, black businesses that could, either some folks had to have carpet redone in their home. They wanted, they was like, I'm sick of carpet. I'm taking that up. I'm putting down tile, or I'm doing something different to my basement floor. If you are a black business owner or a, black plumber, and you have the availability, if you are not swamped and can take on anybody that's trying to find some assistance or help, please, please, please either call into the station. Let's get the name of your business or leave your information for me. At some point in the course of the day, a number of people wanted to make sure that in the midst of getting repairs done, that they were supporting black owned businesses. And I'm trying to figure out who all those people are. I've gotten several names, and I'm sharing those names with folks as I come across them. And I was talking to Mike McGee Jr. Not too long ago, and I don't know if it was at Mr. Jones's homegoing celebration, but anyway, I was talking to Mike Jr. and he reminded me of a segment that his dad used to do during his show, where, like, I don't know if it was like for 5 minutes of his show or 10 minutes of his show, however it went. I got to go back and pay attention. That he would just give black business owners an opportunity to call in to say what their business was and give some contact information. And I thought that that was a pretty cool thing to do, to be able to support black business. As a black owned business, we definitely talk about the need for people to support us and spend their money with us, advertise with us. But everything is a two-way street. The olive branch extends both ways. And so definitely, if you are a black owned business, let me see. Oh, somebody said, and not the day-to-day who does floors, real contractors. People like, yeah, I guess they done ran into some people who said they could do stuff and they couldn't. But that's in any game. So again, please, please, please give us a call. Let us know if you have either used someone that you recommend, or if you are a black business owner that can do some of this work that people are getting done, so we can pass information along to people. And I will help to, get the word out. We got a phone call. I'm gonna see if I need to take this real quick before I get into a couple of the local things I want to cover. Is that a call for me? All right. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Good morning, Michelle. How are you?
I'm good. Hey, Angela, how you doing today?
I'm blessed and thanking the Lord that He woke me up this morning.
Yeah,
How are you?
I'm good. I can hear the smile all through the telephone.
You know it. I am so glad to have you back, and you came back safely, and everything went well in Mount Virginia for you.
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
just glad you touched back down to us in Milwaukee.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Yes, ma'am. And hello, everyone in the studio this morning.
Good morning, Miss Angela.
Good morning, Mr. Ryder. How you, love?
Wait. Before y'all get into that, can I do mine? Cause
You
know how y'all do.
Good morning, Mr. Diva.
I'm through. Y'all go ahead.
Ooh, okay. Well, again, good morning to everyone.
Morning.
Good morning, Mr. Debo. I got much mad love for you, and Mr. Rideout. You know you, my dude. We there
Black power, black power.
all the time.
Yes, ma'am.
Peace and hair grease.
Of love.
Power.
Goodbye, Bye, Michelle.
Bye. Yeah, because they about to get started. You know what? I'm telling you. See, I feel like the teacher at school to be like, separate. Separate. You and you. One of y'all need to move. Separate. Look, speaking of school, I mentioned last week that Dr. Casilius over at Milwaukee Public Schools, the new superintendent, has been doing what is termed a listen and learn tour. And so she's been asking the community to come out and meet with her and her team. They've been doing schools around the city. And I think there have been about 8 schools that were identified on their list, and asking folks to come out to hear from students, family members, staff, community members, uh, to talk about the district concerns, things you want to see, improved upon, feedback on what you may think is working. Either way, asking people to please use the opportunity to speak up about the district as we are getting ready for the new school year. And so the last meeting that is involved in this listening tour is happening today. It is happening tonight over at Ralph Metcalf School, 34th and North Avenue, 3400 West North Avenue. Ralph Metcalf School, 3400 West North Avenue. And that meeting starts at 6 p.m. They say registration is recommended. And they give npsmke.com/ 43 capital M lowercase j 1 lowercase fc period. That's a whole lot. If y'all show up, I'm sure no one will turn you away. But if you would like to hear more about the district, ask questions about the district, we talked before that they just passed their budget, led remediation work that's being done. How are we in terms of, we understand what you're doing, trying to do on paint in these buildings? How are we on the water in these buildings? The money for the referendum, we were told, oh, this will be able to help kids get art programming and blah, blah, blah. So what does the referendum money spending look like? Tell us how that, is working. Also, what is going on? We've been hearing in the backgrounds that the referendum money was tied over money. It wouldn't get us over money, but tied over money. That we still gonna have, some financial issues. Did we get our money back yet from the state for the late reports that were filed? All of those things are out there and are relevant in turn. And then you figure out the dismantling of the Department of Education informally, because formally Trump hasn't been able to do that, but by gutting the number of staff and personnel, gutting dollars allocated to programmings. So how are we in terms of Title I funding? How are we in terms of, services for children that are differently able, children that may have special needs, special education? There are a ton of things that we should be asking the superintendent about, and how many of us will get the opportunity to be up close in front in personal to be able to do that. So if you have not been able to attend any of these sessions, this is the last one. Again, at Metcalf School, 3400 West North Avenue, 6 p.m. And I just want to make sure that people take advantage of this opportunity. Unfortunately, I won't be able to be there because I have a conflicting meeting tonight that is equally as important. So I won't be able to be there, but I encourage you, and you don't have to have children. You can just be a concerned parent. You can be a church person who wants to be able to take information back to the church and say, this is what we're doing in your fraternity, sorority, your civic, engagement, your neighborhood association. But we need to show up, y'all. These opportunities don't come every day. We get to a school board meeting, there's hardly an opportunity for public input. The decisions are really made. By the time we come to the meeting, it's just a cursory, just needed to do it. But we really have made decisions. So get out, get information, provide feedback, just so people know. And let me just say this. When you are in Ralph Metcalf School, if you go tonight, look for that incredible statue of Ralph Metcalf Sr., which I will continue to say, I love that the school is named after him, but that statue needs to be outside. That statue needs to be downtown. That statue needs to be someplace that people can see it and appreciate it. I bring it up every time I think about Ralph Metcalf School. Ralph Metcalf was track and field. He was also a politician. He jointly held the world record in the 100-meter dash, placed second in that event in 2 Olympics. The first to Eddie Tolan back in 1932 from in LA, and then Jesse Owens in the 1936 Olympics in Berlin. So when Hitler was there on his nonsense, trying to say that black people were inferior, and he thought he was getting ready to be impressed at white superiority in terms of track and field, and Jesse Owens burnt up the track. The person that came in second behind Jesse by just, is the slimmest margin was none other than Ralph Metcalfe. Ralph Metcalfe actually went to Marquette University and also the University of Southern California. But this brother was cold. Do you hear me? And so again, this statue that is in Ralph Metcalfe School, it is incredible. And it is just one of those things that it's not talked about enough. The community doesn't appreciate who this brother was to us. And when I say this was a bad boy, Ralph Metcalfe was a bad, bad boy. And I did mention that he went on to be in politics. And I'm trying to remember. So he was an alderman over on the south side of Chicago. But it was something else that was more incredible about what he did that benefited all of us, quite frankly. And I'll have to go back and look for it. But so anyway, if you can, go over there tonight. All right. So I see I got a call coming through. I'm gonna see if that's for me, but I want to bring up something that I'm gonna connect it in two ways. Okay, two ways. Hang on, let me see if that's for me. We got some going. Okay, let me go to the phone line. Hey caller, what's happening?
Hi Michelle, how are you doing?
I'm good. How you doing? You sound far away.
No, I'm here. I'm here in town. No, you was talking earlier about the pickup, and Channel 6 just said that they did extend the pickup for this week, but you got to call.
You got to call. Okay, perfect.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yes, sir. And the other thing I just wanted to know, I got to find out is if they, because the other thing I'm talking about was like where I'm going to, just take some of my own stuff, take it and dump it. And, but I guess I could stack it up outside and just ask them to pick it up. But if they're going to charge, if you have to, bring it in yourself to dump it, and I'll go online and see if I can see that. But I appreciate y'all. Thank you for that information. So, okay, let me help. Go to the phone line. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Michelle. Hey, you were asking last week about the MPS meetings.
Yeah.
And I had a chance to attend last week Wednesday's meeting on 24th in Wisconsin. And I just want to say, just with eyes wide open, Brenda, she said, call her Brenda, the superintendent. The one thing I liked about the meeting was that, and it was a refreshing change from years past, is that she was taking notes, seemed very interested, allowed everyone to really air out grievances from way before she got here.
Okay.
And the thing I liked about her management style, if I may, just the fact that she was taking notes and showed interest. And she even showed interest in the monstrosity that we talked. I don't want to get you off on the subject, but that urban forest out there at the YMCA
right
on 91st and Swan, that thing is going down on Thursday. There's a vote. That's the secret vote that we talked about. And MPS, at least she took the information regarding a 51-acre old growth forest coming down. The vote is on Thursday. MPS has to vote for it. David Crowley has to vote for it. Schaefer at MMSD has to vote for it. MATC has to vote for it. And we already know that Mayor Johnson is all on board. He wants that forest taken down, I guess. The wetlands gone and so forth. But that vote takes place on Thursday, and it's just a shame. It's going against the grain, going against the alderwoman. There are still 10 alders that want to bring down that forest. So it's going to be a bad week or a good week, but that's all happening right now.
So let me ask you this real quick before you go, and I'll circle back and see if I can get The alderwoman, we were trying to get her on before I left, and she had a conflict, so I'll check back around with her. But was there any issues in particular? Well, first of all, how well attended was the meeting, and were there any issues in particular that stood out that you heard?
Well, I actually had gone to a meeting prior to last Wednesday, and that meeting was completely packed, so I was not even able to get a seat. At
Okay.
this meeting on last week, Wednesday, on 24th in Wisconsin, it was well attended. I'm going to say 60 people.
Okay. Oh, that was good. That was a good.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
no,
was a good size.
no, no. And again, just the style, the interest in each individual's complaint or grievance or what have you. But just the interest was a breath of fresh air, Michelle.
Okay. Perfect. I'm
Okay.
glad to hear it, and thank you,
No,
because that's what I was hoping people would call back and let us know what happened. So thank you so much for the information, and I'll get to the piece on Thursday. Okay.
I might talk to you before
I look.
then.
That's cool. That's not a problem at all.
Okay, bless you.
Okay, thank you. All right, family. So let me mention this, and folks, like Michelle, what force is he talking about? I'll make sure that I talk about it. We've talked about it before, um, but there's an area in which there's some housing development being proposed, but a lot of land over on the northwest corner, Brown Deer up in that area would be impacted, destroyed as a result of it. The alderwoman is against the proposal, but it's because I think a lot of neighbors in the area are worried about even more people moving into that area. You know, when the minute you talk about people moving in, the influx of what they believe might be crime or this or that, just a lot of strain on the limited resources in the area. But I will talk about that. I'll get more information together, and then I'll see if I can work that into the show on tomorrow, or at least before um, the the possibility of whatever is happening on Thursday. So let me just say this: as we are getting ready to go back to school, uh, a lot of people are talking about how we make it a better school year. You tie it into what we're seeing downtown and the young people. Some of these are not school age people. They are, grown, 18 and up, that's acting a fool downtown. What do we do, to curtail some of that? They talked about an increased police presence, stepped up monitoring around the area, trying to make it safe for people to go and hang out downtown. So we have all these conversations. And before I left, I had referenced that James Causey had written a editorial in the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel, in which he basically said that parents needed to do more to be able to help manage their children and deal with some of the things that are causing problems in the greater community. And I read James's piece, and I was not, in disagreement with what James said. The title of his article, or his editorial, in case anybody wants to check it out: Milwaukee youth crime is shocking. So are parents who won't discipline their kids. Okay. And this was an opinion piece that Causey wrote. And one of the things that he said: if children do not receive discipline at home, how can any adult in public be expected to check them when they misbehave? And he gets into a number of things, but one of the things that uh, some key points that were taken from the article: a Milwaukee leader who has mentored youth took to social media to call out parents, and I think that might have been Kwabena, who did, used to have a show here at the station. Uh, the quote that was on social media is, quote, "Our kids ain't wild. Our expletive parents are wild," he said. And it was an opportunity after he had just moderated a monthly Real Men Real Talk gathering down at G's that, this post ends up showing up. Kwabena said parents need to do a better job of disciplining their kids and setting a good example. As soft parenting has come into vogue, youth violence has surged. Parents need to step up their games to help curb the chaos on Milwaukee streets this summer. So a lot of that were the highlights of what was said in the article. The only thing, or the editorial, the opinion piece, the only thing I said when I walked away from it is, again, we have to be careful how we talk about these things, because this is not a one root cause of the issues that manifest themselves on our streets. So let me say that again. It's not just about the parenting piece. And it's not just that parents are trifling. There are so many things that have helped us get to this moment. At the end of the day, personal responsibility always rules. This is true. But if you also think about systemically the things that we put in place that make it difficult for some folks to exercise that responsibility. What do I mean? And like, come on, Michelle, don't try to give people a pass. But if I create situations where it's difficult for you to find work, okay, and it's difficult for you to take care of your family, some of your parenting is off because you're worried about employment and how you're going to feed these kids and how you're going to pay the rent, and the fact that you can't buy clothes and you don't have money for school supplies. And every time your child get a pair of shoes, they got them from a free event. The church gave away shoes, the so-and-so backpack gave away. Like, it's some kids, the only way they know how to start a school year is because their mamas and daddies is running around to every free book bag giveaway. And not just because I'm taking advantage and trying to game the system, but because I really don't have it. Because I remember when we did backpack giveaways for African World Festival, I told our board, we will not be putting our logo on those backpacks. And the reason being, because a lot of groups want to do that to brand, to show their engagement in the community. But what you also doing is branding the fact that this kid had to come get a free backpack from your organization. So I don't need the credit in that way if all the kids walking around with the so-and-so backpack and everybody like, oh, that's a free backpack, versus mine that I got on my, my shoulder. Any and everything can be weaponized to mess with the self-esteem of a child by other children. So that's one. But again, we also have to give credence to dealing with the high cost of housing, dealing with food insecurity, dealing with healthcare issues. It is not just as simple as, and even the way, you could discipline back in the day versus what you face today. It's not the same, because we saw this whole period where we went through that Black people were demonized if they physically tried to discipline their children. Remember that piece? And social workers talking about taking your kids from you, and kids felt empowered to tell their parents, I'm gonna call them folks on you. And you got parents was like, well, call them. There have been, then you got the role of drugs. So Lakeisha has this thing that she says, and she got it from somebody else, and I don't know if she got it from, I don't know, Umar Johnson, I don't know who she got it from, but we always talk about it takes a village, to help raise these kids, right? And whoever it was that came up with this quote, they said, but what if the village is effed up? What if the village is messed up? We still see the residual effect of drugs in our community. We finally are getting to a generation of children whose parents are not addicted, because we went through a spate of time where we had a number of children who were in the homes of addicted parents, and the addiction and the drugs were being fueled by the United States government, who was trying to finance wars in other regions of the world. And they dropped drugs in our community so that they could get the little 5, 10s, 2s, and fews from poor people who was trying to escape the craziness of their life. And then we ended up messing up a generation of parents. We ended up creating parents that was more addicted to drugs in some cases than taking care of their children. And I remember being a trainer for a foster parent program and having to tell parents who was sitting up in judgment, prospective foster parents who was sitting up in judgment of people who had struggled and had, ultimately lost their own children. And they was sitting up like, I wouldn't do this. And if you love your kids and da 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 da. And one thing I tell people, the data, the research says that this particular drug, and at the time I'm talking about crack cocaine, is so potent that one hit is enough to have you hooked. Not 2, 3, 4, 7, 18, but one hit was enough to have you hooked, which meant now you start making wrong, crazy, bad choices because you chasing a drug. So when we start saying, because parents ain't doing their job, what is going on that parents are not doing their job? Because the majority of parents ain't trifling just because they want to be trifling. But you got cycles of poverty, cycles of mental health issues, cycles of abuse. What's going on? So it's not enough just to say, it's too simple to say the parents just ain't doing their job if I don't understand what's going on with the parents. So I got to take a break. I still got some callers. I'm going to try to tie this in, and I'm going to take it to the national level. The Trump administration, who is calling for corporal punishment to be put back into classroom. So teachers being able to whoop your kids. A Trump appointee. I'll be right back.
3 with your host, Michelle Bryant on WNOV.
Good morning. Welcome back. I am taking a couple of minutes this morning talking about education, talked about Dr. Casilius over at Milwaukee Public Schools. Today is the last day of one of the listening sessions that she has been holding this summer to get input from everybody. All stakeholders, children, parents, staff, community leaders, members, everybody is welcome. That meeting is happening tonight, 6 p.m. over at Ralph Metcalf School, 3400 West North Avenue. And I'm talking about a piece that was written in the Journal Sentinel by James Causey, an opinion piece regarding what parents need to be doing, to help with their children to quell some of the nonsense that's going on. I got a phone call. I heard from somebody who drives the bus, and they said, hey, a child fell asleep on their way to school, missed a bus stop. The child wakes up, cusses me out because you missed your bus stop. But you will sleep on the bus. The child calls their parent. Their parents show up, cuss out the bus driver. So there is a definite amount of enabling that goes on. But let's just take a second and call it Here I Come and think about it. You as a grown person who get up and go to work every day and do what you're supposed to do, your child falls asleep on a bus stop. And instead of dealing with your child, you choose to cuss out the bus driver. It stands to reason to me, it's something wrong with you as a parent. Not just you a bad parent, but where was the breakdown in life that you didn't get what you were supposed to get to be able to effectively raise your child? It's not just, oh, I popped up and I'm a parent and I'm a great parent or I'm an awful parent. The mother that I am, a lot of stuff was already poured into me by my parents and grandparents and community and seeing different things. I didn't just wake up and be like, oh, I'm a great mother. It was a whole bunch that took form for me to become the parent that I was. And me making certain decisions, I'm going to carry this forward. I'm going to lead this back. I'm going to incorporate this. I'm going to do this differently. But y'all, if we don't deal with these parents too, and the systems around these people that create some of this ignorance, it's not just this simple. Let me go to the phone line. Hey, caller, what's happening? Hello? Caller?
Hello, I'm right here.
Yes, good morning.
Oh, I didn't know that you was on the phone. Good morning,
Yes,
Michelle.
ma'am. Hey, how you doing, Miss Annette?
All right. Listen, I am so glad I have you on the phone, Michelle, because, Miss Keisha, Nikki?
Yeah, Lakeisha. Yes, ma'am.
Lakeisha, all right. Yeah, she's from, her and my daughter, they grew up together at church. Union here is
Yes,
in the
ma'am.
house. So, and my sister, she preached yesterday. We prayed over the young people yesterday. We let service be about to know that we love them and that we want to see them be leaders. That was definitely there. And you are truly a leader yourself. And that was my goal when I was raising my sons. Did it turn out that way? No. But I used to blame myself and say, what did I do wrong? Then I used to check myself, Annette, you done the best thing that you could do. And so I used to sit up and cry. What could I have done better? So then I also had to check myself and say, take what you've learned. And I did classes and I talked to other teachers and I went to the school. And I did check. And then I take what I am now and I talk to some of the mothers now. And I embrace them and say, you're going to be okay. And talk to these young ladies and say, what can I do to help you be a better parent? I have mothers on both sides of me doing the same thing that I'm doing. Talk to your kids. So What can you do with your teachers? They have to be. It has to be all the way around because the teachers are involved. They're not babysitters. Because I have teachers on both sides of my family, in my husband's family and in my family. They can't be your babysitters. So you got to talk to your kids. Sit down with them, read with them, and talk to them and say, I have to help you be an get your education, and you have to go to school and learn. Okay, if you're going to be a leader in this world, and this world is ugly, they have to sit down with their kids and talk to their kids. Also, if they don't know anything, how are they going to learn to train their kids? It's a training process. And if we're not training our children, how can we send them out in the world? We have to get back to training them at home. And if the training ain't there and you just calling them out their name and all of that, and I check them in the stores. Baby, don't do that. Don't call you. And the mothers be right there listening to me. I'll stop them right there by the milk, by the eggs. Don't do that. And why you letting your sons call him? Right there. I'll put him in the corner. Come here, baby. You don't do that. Right there by the eggs and the milk, Michelle. And somebody say you shouldn't talk. Why you? Cause I don't mind. Don't do that.
Yes, ma'am. No, I understand, and you are absolutely right. We definitely have got to do better, but the one thing I will always say, the majority of parents are doing what they're supposed to.
Yes,
because if they weren't, these streets would be way worse than anything we talking about right now. So the overwhelming majority of parents are doing what they should be doing.
That's right. That's right.
But and thank you for the call, Mr. Ned. I appreciate you because I got some other folks on here.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. And I appreciate the folks that are willing to, step in and say, hey, sis, or hey, bruh, let me holler at you for a second and pull them away from the kids so that you're not chastising them in front of the child. And reducing, they whole, little self-esteem in front of their kid because you about to basically end up calling them out on nonsense behavior. But I still, will say some of this stuff is deeper than the surface. It is because you got damaged parents trying to be parents now. You have damaged people trying to raise children. And, so when somebody say personal responsibility, what does that mean when the parent is damaged? So I got to go and either be able to afford therapy, get somebody around me that can help coach me. I got people that have been doing stuff a certain way, like, and I'm coming caller, but just something real simple. So I come into a situation, and I'm helping somebody and I'm dealing with a wash machine, right? And so I say, hey, where are the lint things that go on that hose that go in the sink, to catch all the lint and crap so it don't go down the drain in the wash tub in the bath in the laundry room. And the person says to me, what you talking about? I said that lint trap thing that goes on that hose that when the water comes out the wash machine, and I don't know none of the technical terms for none of this stuff, but you put that on there. And so the person said to me, what are you talking about? So we order them and I get them and I show them how I go. And they literally said to me, I have never seen this before in my life. I did not know this was a thing. And I don't remember my mom having this. Like, she may have, but I might have missed it. But I've never seen this before. And so, yeah, the mesh thing. Somebody said the mesh, Michelle. Yeah. But I was laughing because I'm like, of course this goes here. But if you've never been exposed to it, you've never been told, you don't even know it's wrong or that something is missing. there are people that have had folks talk crazy to them their entire life. Now you end up becoming parents and you talk crazy. And folks will just tell you, no, that's just how we communicate. Yeah, but it's unhealthy communication. It's something wrong with that. It's something wrong with that. I appreciate, I never talk crazy to my kid and called him out of his name. But that's because my mama never called me out mine. And nobody else in my family. Because they didn't, that's not how they got down. So in some part, my son and now his son is the beneficiary of what my mother and her father and her aunts and uncles did with them. It's not just that person we see in the grocery store right now. I'm looking at the ancestors that I can't see that's connected to them people. And that's the thing. It's easy to throw this mess out here and say, you know, you ought to be better and you ought to be this. But it's many of y'all, if you tell the truth, that's listening to me right now, you are just like, or a combination of, or have some elements of the people who raised you. And it doesn't just start with your immediate mother and father. You got some of your grandma, granddaddy ways, your great grandma, great granddaddy ways. It's things we do. We don't even know why we do them. It was just taught and passed down. And we just assume because that's the way it's done. So while I appreciate Causey's article, and I appreciate the people who say, you know, these parents is out of order, I know that these people also are educated enough to know, and I don't mean academically educated, I mean wisdom, community educated enough to know it didn't just start with their mom and daddy. It didn't just start with them. This is generational and it's systemic. Let me go to the phone line. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Good morning, Monsieur. This is Angela.
Hey, Angela, good morning.
So, to answer your question about parents, like with them trying to whip the kids, bring that back to the school, I don't think that would be preferable because the day and age that these kids are living, they gonna do something to their teacher, and I wouldn't advise that. But if it, like when I grew up, that was going on. We did get whipped by our teachers. You know what I'm saying? But this day and age, no, I don't think that would be advisable. The way these kids are. But anyway, with me being a ex-drug user, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I wish I would have been there for my kids, but they were brought up by my mother. You know what I'm saying? But I still go through some of the situation with one of my children, but she's getting over it, but she hasn't got over it because she wanted her mother. And I wasn't there. I had a problem. But today I don't have that problem anymore. But it's always something thrown up in my face sometimes by my daughter because she needed me. And she realizing that I had a problem and I was sick back then. But I thank God that I'm not sick no more today. And, it's a stigma. It's hard, for some parents to get over that and not to go back because it's very hard. Because I have days that I'm attacked. I'm attacked, but I'll just give it to God and, He's got control of that through me. That's who helped me. Besides me going to treatment or whatever, God still played a big part of that. And I'm so thankful. I really am. Because today it's not about that, but our kids need to be looking at a different way to, it's babies having babies. Because I was a baby when I had mine. You know what I'm saying? But it's a different way to live. It's a stigma like, you raise one way and you raise your kids this way and the kid raise their kids that way. It needs to be broke. It's a curse which needs to be broke. Because the way my mother raised me, I raised my kids the same way, but in a different form when I got better. But they were grown then. But my mother raised them well. And they was taught well. You know,
All
but
right.
I just don't think the fact that these teachers getting permission with these kids, they shouldn't do it.
All right.
They
Thank you,
should.
Angela. I
Yeah.
appreciate the call. Yes, ma'am. I appreciate it. And the ability to say, hey, about your own parenting, I probably wasn't the best I could have been, for whatever reason, whether I was, addicted to drugs, alcohol, whatever was going on, but to keep fighting to try to come back from that and then to try to figure out how to have a relationship with your children going forward and being able to understand and appreciate the damage that was done. And now your children who are adults and parents, if they haven't dealt with some of the stuff that they experienced, you carry that right over into parenting. The other reason, and callers, I see y'all, I wanted to bring this in is because the guy in the paper. So today in the paper, there's this guy who brought up James Causey's article, and he basically was like, yeah, I'm so glad. It's clearly not a black person. I'm so glad that, this guy, James Causey, says this in the paper. I've been saying this for years. What about personal responsibility? And he goes on to say, a lot of this stuff could have been prevented to some extent if only people didn't play the race card every time something they didn't want to hear was said. And I'm like, that's why I tell y'all got to be careful about how y'all talk about this stuff, because then you turn around and give people the ammunition to come up and say, oh, if they didn't play the race card. I ain't playing the race card. I'm playing life, fam. I'm coming, Jay. I'm playing life. Because, y'all don't ever talk about the damn white card, but y'all got one. Because when the police interact with your kids, it's a different situation. They treat them like they own. They give you the opportunity to go home. One of my friends in California, who I went to South Africa with, her home was broken into by some white boys. And these were like 18, 19-year-old white boys. When the police came, they got the white kid, they got the information on these kids. Do you know they brought the parents of them white kids to her house to basically say they willing to pay for any damages? Can bygones be bygones, to let them kids go? What black kid was they doing that for? So, I love when white folks can holler about the race card, but you don't appreciate you got a damn card that you play every day. It's played for you. Just by essence of your skin color, you got a card too. Everybody got a card. Be careful how you talk about our issues in our community, because it can also add fuel to nonsense. That's how you got DC, with the damn Trump and his foolishness with these people in here trying to police these folks. You got folks who say, let them do the roll call in black neighborhoods of the police department. Be careful how you talk about our issues in this community, because it gives people a license to handle us differently. This same person who co-signed for what James Causey said, where's the conversation about white kids all strung out on damn opioids, lying dead in people's yards all around the community? White kids who do dirt, white kids who steal, but y'all stuff don't get covered the same way in the media as ours. The fight that happened out at the bar in Brookfield, wherever that was, that you don't see that melee, but you see downtown. So stop talking to me, like this is only something occurring in the black community. But be careful how you talk about it. Let me go to the phone line. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Hey, how you guys doing this morning?
Good. How you doing this morning?
Look, yeah, I'm a father of a 14-year-old daughter, and I have her. I'm the primary. Her mom only got her 3 weeks ends out of a month, and it's so toxic. Her mom is so toxic. I'm getting ready for school this weekend. I allowed her to go by her mom's house last week. Her mom said she'll help her with her hair. She don't get her back home to Thursday, 1:00 a.m. Turns around this Saturday. I'm getting my daughter ready for school. Mom said, "This is my weekend." I said, "I'm getting the girl ready for school." I don't care. It's my weekend. My daughter's like, "Mom, I need to get ready for school." I don't care. She want to do it like This is a play toy. My daughter like, Mom, I need to be at home. I need to take care of myself. I got to get ready for school. I've been over there all week dealing with you. I don't care. So it's so toxic dealing with people that don't care about the well-being of their children, don't care about the needs of their children, the education, even the health. I have to do everything. And the mother told me one time, she's not going to be no better than the other children. She got 4 other children, bro. They are going through rough patches because of the things she's taught them. And I always thought that it was something dealing with their mom's past. And I met one of her mom's friends, childhood friends, and seen some things that she was going through. And she said her mother was like that. So they bring it into the next generation. Now her mom trying to bring it. But I was raised different. 16 of us, same mom and dad, 52 years of marriage, 2, so that's 8. And my parents gave up themselves for us. They made sure we had proper spiritual raises, proper education, food. I mean, even the diet makes a sense when you take care of your children. But it's so bad to see these parents don't have the heart to raise these children in a proper form of fashion, that these kids can get an understanding of life. You trying to do anything and everything in front of them. You say, do as I say, but don't do as I do. Right. That's not good. You've got to give of yourself for your children.
Yes,
God
sir.
bless you.
Thank you so much, bro. I appreciate the call. And I appreciate the comments. You know, these are difficult. These are difficult situations to be in. And, you know, on one hand, you know, people be like, you ain't noticed none of that about the sister when you was messing with her, you know, and other cases, it's like, no, I didn't see it. Or, you know what? It wasn't even no long-term thing, but we ended up having a child. And now I'm going to be responsible, you know, to that child. It's so many things that play into it, but I do appreciate that he went back and grabbed and brought forward that there was some stuff in the mama's history that was traumatic or jacked up and shouldn't have been, that got carried forward. And that's the only thing that I'm saying, is that we here for a reason. It didn't happen overnight. Just like folks say, I'm not an overnight success. In terms of these musicians you hear, and you be like, oh my God, so-and-so is fire. And they be like, man, I've been at this for 20 years. I've been at this for a long time. You just now seeing it. You just now catching on. But I've been doing this work for years. Bad parenting does not happen overnight. You don't just wake up and get pregnant and or become, you know, find out you're gonna be a dad and be a bad parent. A lot of that was already in you before you became a parent. You know, being a bad person, being a trifling person, being somebody that don't get it and understand the connection and what you were supposed to do all along. So let me say this. Add a couple other things, and I gotta take a quick break. There is an event that's happening next Monday that I am a part of. Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority, Epsilon Kappa Omega chapters hosting it. The Deltas have come on board, the alumni chapter, the Links, Milwaukee Urban League, and it's another group. I'm trying to figure out, I can't say all the logos, but I'll get it. But it's called Soar Milwaukee. It's happening from 6 to 7:30 p.m. over at Village Library, 5190 North 35th Street. A powerful community event focused on parent advocacy, educational success, and empowering families to raise their voices on behalf of their children. Teaching people how to advocate effectively at the classroom level. Understanding the roles of school staff, principals, school board members. Getting tips and tools to support your child's success, from homework help to IEP meetings. It's free, open to the public. Light refreshments are going to be served. But the biggest thing is about how to teach parents how to be champions for their children. And this is the one thing, you know, when the person that drives the bus hit me up and said that the parent acted this way. And then I hear other people say, yeah, you know, I called a parent, the parent came up there and showed they behind. One of the things I have said to parents before is, so how's that working for you? Because if you acting a fool here, that means you acting a fool in other places. You acting a fool on your job. You acting a fool in your relationships. without doing it that direct. But so how is this response going to work for you? Because your kid can't cuss me out and think you're going to get nothing from me. You can't cuss me out and think you're going to get something from me. That's just not how this works. That's not how real life works. And while you may bully somebody in the moment, if you believe that the only way to get solutions is to show your behind, eventually somebody gonna meet your energy and they're gonna show your butt the dough and take your kid with you. We've got to be able to talk to people and handle people in a way that we can help coach and educate them about what they're doing that's problematic. So I had said that there was a appointee by Donald Trump who is now out talking about he believes that corporal punishment needs to be reintroduced into schools. He literally said, we got to get the paddle back. Okay. So this dude, a former NFL player by the name of Jack Brewer, I don't know what team he played for, but Jack Brewer, who Donald Trump had put on his commission on the social status of black men and boys. Okay. Donald Trump has a commission on the social status of black men and boys. And he was recently on a television appearance. And so they were talking about the National Guard going into DC and fighting crime, blah, blah, blah. And I love that on CNN this morning, they talked about when they looked at the data that Speaker Mike Johnson has a higher crime rate than DC. That of the top 10 cities that had the worst crime stats, only one city that Donald Trump is messing with is listed in the top 10, and they're number 10. DC is not in the top 10. Republican-controlled cities with Republican-controlled mayors and Republican-controlled legislatures are all in the top 10 or the top 9. But that's a side note. But this guy, his brother, he was on this TV show on Fox News, Jesse Waters Primetime. And he gets on here. And this is a black man talking, this former NFL player who's working, on Trump's commission. And he gets his black behind on television and says schools have to start back disciplining kids. Quote, they took the paddle out of the school and everything collapsed. We got to get the paddle back. So here is a black man on Fox News telling basically these white audiences that y'all need to start beating us again. Yes, master, that's what we need. You need to beat them, master. You need to beat us. We only respond when you beat us. And see, this that moment when you realize, like, people be like, sometimes, like, some of y'all sports people, y'all should stay in y'all lane. I don't want to be the person that say shut up and dribble, but sometimes, particularly some of these black men playing football, I don't know if it's damn concussions. You done got hit too hard on the field. I don't know. But all y'all shouldn't be given a microphone, because you get your black behind on Fox National News and say, we need y'all to beat us, massa. That's what we need. We need that paddle brought back into the classroom. He went on to say, listen, corporal punishment is the only way. So the only way to get black kids to respond, to behave, to do what you need is to beat them. That's what this Negro took his black behind on national television and said.
So I got a question. So you mean to tell me that they can take away the parents' rights to chastise the kids, but you want to give it to the teachers?
And I mean, remember, this is a country in which teachers used to have the authority to spank their kids. In fact, there are 17 states that have some form of physical discipline allowed in their schools.
But you would
Parents
send
have to sign off on it. They can't just do it. But there are 17 states currently
I get it.
in which paddling or some variation is allowed in their schools.
But if, as a parent, you paddle your child, you go to jail.
Yeah, of course. Well, no, it depends. You know, like, and I used to tell people, folks be like, these folks done took away your ability to discipline your child. We talk about how you beat your child,
No,
or how
but-
you physically hit your child. Because the parent that's hitting their kid with the extension cord, hell yeah, we need you to stop that.
But no.
But if you got an open hand and you paddling your kid on the behind, that's not illegal.
I get that. But they say if you leave a mark, it's illegal. So if you use a pedal, you hit that
Yeah, you
person
can
more
easily
than
leave
one
a
time,
mark.
you gonna leave a mark.
Yeah, you know.
So it's
And I don't know if just leaving a mark in and of itself can be,
Yeah.
like totally the thing that cinches it, but definitely, because, and some kids bruise differently than others. But I just am just so disgusted. Okay, so they said he used to play for the Minnesota Vikings and the New York Giants before he retired because of an injury in 2007. Clearly, it must have been a damn head injury. But he launched this foundation called the Jack Brewer Foundation, providing educational opportunities and economic development to underprivileged people, including children, while spreading his word of God. Of God, spreading the word of God. So he's 46 years old. He's out of Texas, and he's on this commission. And I'm just like, bruh, what is wrong with you? Like, what is wrong with you? So you're not nowhere fighting that people need to understand their history, and that we don't strip Black history from these classrooms, and the things that can help Black people understand citizenship, the role of voting, being civically engaged, our incredible contributions to this country, the things that make your chest stand out and be proud. You just telling folks we just need to beat them. Just beat them. No, you're not even like of that old ilk. You're only 46 years old,
that sound
but
like
you done
some,
drank this damn Kool-Aid.
so that sound like how he probably grew up.
And you may have grown up like that, but you also, you know, I think you're saying too what you think white folks want to hear. It's okay to beat them. That's the person that lets you know nothing about it. You can raise your child without putting your hands on your child. Get alone, give somebody permission to do it in a class or at a school. When I tell you I was disgusted, I was disgusted. Given everything we know about the pipeline in prison, our Black kids get tracked, our Black kids right here in the city walk, get longer suspensions, more often suspended than their peers, and it's much more punitive for the same offense. There's a lot of ill people working in our schools with our children. So get them the permission to beat us. Papa, you got me. I gotta go to break. I'll be right All right, family. Let me take a venture real quick to go to DC. Today, you have leaders from Europe and Vladimir Zelensky out of Ukraine that are going to be meeting at the White House today. And, you know, I just first just want to say Zelensky is good. And the things that we have to do when our back is up against the wall and you got to work with it. Because, we all have had to work with people we really didn't like or we really didn't care for, didn't care for their ways. Don't mean I hate you, but I just don't like the way you do business. And that's the Christian way of talking about it. If I just got to talk about it, I don't like this blank and I don't want to be bothered, but I got to. Um, so Zelensky, after he was last year and had Donald Trump, basically just put on a whole clown show. And JD Vance hollering at the freaking president of another country. You the VP. You don't do nothing. There are like no job responsibilities for you other than to break a tie in the Senate and to step in the absence of the president of the United States. But other than that, you just out here chilling and kicking it and at Taco Bell. But you talked crazy to the president of another country and felt like you could. See, it should have been me. I always say it don't never be me. Because that whole little shindig would have got stopped. And be like, hey, bruh, my vice president ain't here. That's your equal. Say your comments for my VP. Your comments ain't for me. But that's just me. So, Vladimir Zelensky coming to the White House today. One of the things that the White House puts out is that Donald Trump has requested that Vladimir Zelensky wear a suit to the White House. Now, we got countries at war. People are dying. Russia's trying to big boy and steal, land from Ukraine, trying to just tear up their little democratic country. And one of the things that the president of these United States is concerned about is whether or not Zelensky will have a suit on. Because everywhere Zelensky has gone, he has had on, a sweater, some like military khakis, black khakis or whatever. Because this man is like, I am a country at war. I ain't out here kicking it and big balling it and Willie Bobo in it in my suit dressing up with y'all because I want to always be reminded of what I got in front of me. Donald Trump, in his old behind immaturity, made fun of Zelensky and the way he was dressed the last time he was in DC. And so there is now, in addition to everything these people got to discuss today, the backdrop of this man trying to tell another leader of another country how to dress to come to a meeting with him. I don't know what Zelensky's going to do because it's, again, back is against the wall. You need the help of the United States to stay in this thing. So you got to kiss a whole lot of wide French fry booty on Donald Trump. You got to do that. I get it. But it's just so, like, when do we as Americans look at this dude and be like, are you kidding me right now, fam? Because you already had this meeting with the president of Russia, Vladimir Putin. And Putin's people are so amped and geeked after meeting with you, believing that Donald Trump is our water boy. He gonna help us get everything we want out of this whole situation with Ukraine. That the Russian media is this was one of the headlines on the Russian media talking about Ukraine's meeting today with Donald Trump. Quote, either disgrace or disgrace. Zelensky has no choice. Every decision is suicide. That was in the Moscow Daily newspaper today. That was in the newspaper. Because they walk away feeling so empowered because they know Donald Trump is scared of Putin and he carries Putin's water, that this is just getting ready to be a session in which Donald Trump tells Vladimir Zelensky, give Putin what he wants and the war will be over. So one of the things that Putin wants is for Ukraine never to be able to become a member of NATO. Why would I say yes to that? Also, we need you to give up Crimea, which Vladimir Putin, you've been stealing their stuff, they land for the longest. So why would I do this? So as we have National Guard troops protecting monuments that are in no danger in DC, no crime is going on where Donald Trump has all these folks positioned. We can't even manage our own country well. We now are in the middle of trying to negotiate some type of agreement for Russia and Ukraine. But we have the negotiations being led by a total clown who is willing to capitulate to Russia. I can't imagine being Vladimir Zelensky walking into this meeting today. That's that piece when, you talk about being a leader is not easy. Because you have to do stuff that you don't want to do all the time to be able to save your people, save your community, save your country. But I don't know how, other than with the outside help of other nations, because Ukraine we ain't even supposed to be here. Remember? You can go back and pull some of my audio when Russia first attacked Ukraine. I was like, Ukraine is small, y'all. Their military is small. They're going to be wiped. This going to be over. And I feel bad for these people because it's a democratically leaning country, but it's getting ready to be a wrap for them. Who would have thought Ukraine would have still been in the fight? Scrappy. Like, no. You not getting ready to just come over here and run over us. I don't care if we outmanned, outgunned, out-resourced. We fighting. And we fighting till we can't fight no more. That's Zelensky showing up in D.C. today. But you got the full weight of the United States pitching and running game for Russia. Let me go to the phone line real quick before I wrap this. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Good morning, Queen Sister.
Good morning. How you doing this morning?
I'm great this morning. As long as you're on the air, I'm just fine. And welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Well, check it out. Now, last time President Zelensky came by himself, and that's why Vance and all them other creeps was with Trump, and they bomb rushed him. This time, he is not by himself. He's bringing two world leaders. I think the president and the prime minister are coming with him. So he will not be there by himself this time. So Vance will, if Trump bring him at all, he ain't gonna say nothing. All right. The last time Trump did what he did, and as soon as Trump told President Zelensky, "You don't have the cards," and then he kicked him out the White House. No sooner did Zelensky get to the airport, 5 leaders from 5 countries invited him to stop off in Britain,
right?
Hug him, to welcome him, and to assure him that Trump can go kiss a camel's butt. We got you, bro. We got you. He got 7 countries backing him up. And the other day he said, yeah, we would like to have the United States support. But he don't need it anymore because 7 countries is going to back him against Russia, and I'm so happy.
Well, let me just say this, and thank you, bro. I appreciate the call and for that added information. I'm gonna say this real quick before I get off the air. So the delegation that's coming, the European delegation, you actually have the French President Emmanuel Macron. You got the German Chancellor Friedrich Merz. You got the Prime Minister of Britain, Starmer. You got the Italian Prime Minister, Meloni. You got the European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen, and you have the Finnish President Alexander Stubb. So it's more than two. It's like 5-7 folks coming with Zelensky. But this is my concern. This is my concern.
What?
Because while they can help him to some extent with the NATO piece, with moral support, and with some financial support to get him access to military resources that have been stalled in the U.S. Trump has played with the money, giving this man what he needs. We cannot forget, though, that the U.S. is still one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful country in the world.
That's true.
And
That's
because of tariff negotiations and all the different levers that we can use to make it uncomfortable for these other supporting nations, they are only going to go, in my opinion, so far in their support of Zelensky. Now they need to show up, and but I'm gonna pay attention to the dynamics of the room, because if Trump begins to berate Zelensky, it will be interesting to see who says a word. Because we there showing moral support, sitting with you, but who gonna hang on, bruh? You out of line. Hold on, Trump. You're wrong on this issue or that. That's the piece that I'm not confident in.
Probably the woman from Germany, leading Germany. She's gonna tell Trump, "Shut up, you orange head punk."
Okay, well, we gonna wishful think on that. But I just want, so thank you, bro. I appreciate the call because I'm up against the clock. But no, I just want to be clear that yes, this is a coordinated show of support by these other countries in terms of these European nations. But y'all, the U.S. wields hella power, and this man has come in and upset world trade all over the place with these tariffs, and bringing people to the table, and who's gonna pay what, the stock market responding ups and downs. Like, it's crazy the kind of damage that can be done just because of the relationships and the interdependency that we have with these other countries. So I don't know what is going to happen, but I know again that who's attending, Zelensky on at least has some moral support, but Donald Trump is all about clowning. He is all about it. So right now, the way it's set up, they get to the White House around noon today. Zelensky gonna get there at 1, but all the other European leaders gonna get there an hour before Zelensky. 1:15, it's gonna be a meeting with Trump and Zelensky in the Oval Office. 2:15, Trump is gonna greet the European leaders in the State. A multilateral meeting is going to be held in the East Room. So again, I laid out who's supposed to be in attendance. They're going to be discussing the territorial demands of Putin, and I already said, I'm not doing none of that. I ain't gonna have peace talks without me, and Russia is not going to dictate the terms of what happens with you. Not gonna happen over my dead body. So we will see. But this is gonna be a heck of a day. In fact, it's gonna be a heck of a week. So with that, I'll wrap the show for today. I know I spent the inordinate amount of time in school and education, a family. We got to piece out, both in terms of our children, academically being prepared, and also for our community. Not all this of just black folks. The only thing that's wrong with black folks is black folks. I ain't doing that. I'm not gonna do that with you. I don't care how well meaning your opinion is. If that's the message, you need to get another damn message. Not just us. It's not just us. There are things that have happened that have harmed us. And when we talk about it, we got to talk about it in a way that's responsible and don't let other people off the hook for the BS that they have done to help create these situations. No, you don't get to do that. All right, family. I gotta get out the way. Jay, I appreciate you, bro. You're so fresh.
You know,
Yeah.
us fine over here. Us fine. I don't know about that dude.
Do it. And, I will take the station.
Yeah, it's making me look fine. It's making me look. Yeah, you know, speaking of, now, I tried to like you.
He laughed at the production. That was funny.
Yeah, man, you came more with it. Turn the lights off.
We gotta go.
Yeah.
Tomorrow. Please. Oh my God.